Welcome to this dramatic therapy monologue. Listen to this meditation with an open mind and heart. In between each part, focus on your breath. Start now by inhaling deeply through your nose and slowly exhaling through your mouth. Then gently turn your attention to the natural rhythms of your breath. If you could see me now, if you truly saw me, maybe you would see the trembling in my hands that started when I was 8, sitting at the kitchen table, looking at Nana's biscuits. She always said, "Finish your plate, darling. You never know when the next meal will come." I never forgot it. Never. Sometimes, even now, in a room blurring with the laughter of people I barely know, I will hear her whisper, and I just cannot help myself. There is something so quiet and desperate about the way I prepare. Maybe you know it too. That feeling of looking at the clock, and before your mind can speak its sense, your hand is reaching, again, for bread, for chips, for one more biscuit. It is never that I am starving. I am, instead, terrified of the gap, the empty space between now and whatever is next. A flight, a god-awful meeting, a party, or even just the stretch between lunch and dinner. I have lied to myself over and over again about why. I tell myself it is sensible, it is clever. I am practicing caution, I say, preparedness, resilience. But really, I just feel like a perpetually anxious child in a world of random famines and suddenly empty fridges. I am eating not for hunger, but for fear. Just in case. Always, just in case. Here is the irony, the punchline that is never funny. Every time I do it, every preemptive sandwich, every mouthful of food because some moment of lack looms in the future, I suffer. But it is never the suffering of hunger, which is actually tiny, brief, and, well, not even worth calling suffering. What devours me afterward is self-loathing, that monstrous echoing voice. You have lost control. Again. I feel the despair sinking its claws in, whispering that I am weak, that I will never be free. It is a ridiculous dance, full and unfulfilled at the same time. I eat in anticipation, promising myself that this time it will be different. that this time the full feeling will last. But it never does. The hunger returns at the next meal, and of course, I eat just as much as I would have anyway. All I have done is layered guilt on top of guilt. I see the cycle, but it spins too fast for my hands to catch. Here comes the collapse. It always happens eventually. Last year, no, 2 years ago, because time slips away when you are running from yourself, I locked myself in a bathroom at a family wedding. I had eaten so much before the ceremony. I was preparing, or so I told myself. I had mapped out every minute of potential hunger, as if I was some ancient strategist at war with famine. But the only real battle was happening in my own chest, as I stared at myself in the hotel mirror, begging for an answer. Why are you doing this? Why can you not stop? I wept, quietly, so nobody would hear, tracing the lines of my face and seeing every year, every biscuit and anxious mouthful piled up around my eyes. My crisis was not really about weight. It was never about weight. It was about lies I still told myself, about comfort, about safety, about deserts that would never really appear. It was fear, pure and simple. Fear left unattended, disguised as logic and preparation. Here is where something shifted. Even in that hideous moment, salt streaking my cheeks, I heard, really heard, my own voice inside saying, "You are hurting yourself more with these small, silent betrayals than hunger ever could. Hunger is an ache. Self-loathing is an agony. Would you not rather test the ache, just once?" So I did. The next time the fear came, I told it. I will eat a normal portion. I will risk being hungry. I will risk discomfort instead of yet another episode of despair. The first time was so hard. My stomach growled and my mind raced and every muscle tensed, waiting for some imagined catastrophe. But nothing happened. I survived. After a few times, I realized the thing I feared was a ghost, an echo from childhood, from Nana's voice, from old stories. Every time I resisted, just for that one meal, the fear lost a little of its power. If you are listening now, and you know this feeling, this cycle, this dialogue with yourself, I want to reach through space and time and cup your face in my hands. I want to tell you that the world will not end if you are hungry for a moment or two. The pain of hunger is fleeting, but the pain of self-hatred is heavy and clings long after the last crumb is gone. You deserve peace. You deserve to eat for hunger, not fear. You are already allowed to stop preparing and start living. Stay with your breath. Try, even once, to risk a small hunger so that you can free yourself from a much larger suffering. You are not weak. You are not a child adrift in a world without enough. You are here with yourself, with your breath. That is preparation enough, and always will be.